All right.
All right, we are back for our second herbal bite.
Little nibble, herbal nibbles. Yeah.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
little
little
nibble,
nibbles.
a little. And today we have
Kava,
Kava,
kava. Yeah. Our Piper methysticum.
and we are
And we're drinking
drinking.
some kava kava. So cheers to that.
Cheers, cheers, cheers. Mm,
My tongue is numb.
mm,
My shoulders are relaxed. I'm feeling
mm.
warm and cozy.
So good. So tell us what's in this drink, Kris, because
So
this is your favorite at the moment.
yeah, so I'm really enjoying like a cup of kava as opposed to like having it as a herbal tonic.
Hmm.
But this is like half water, half coconut milk, with a tablespoon of kava powder,
Hmm.
and then some culinary spices, so some cardamom, some nutmeg, and some cinnamon,
Hmm.
and sweetened with a bit of honey. And today I put a little bit of our rose essence in there, just for a
Yeah.
little bit extra heart. But the main takeaway we're talking about is the kava kava today. So yeah.
Mm.
Um,
So Kava Kava gets quite a lot of media attention. I
yeah,
think a lot of people will know what Kava is.
especially from the 90s. It was really, really
Yeah,
big in the 90s, and then it
yeah,
kind of got pulled from the shelves, and it's kind of sort of slowly eked back in. And especially here in WA, we've kind of got it like finally now available in even supermarkets. So
yeah,
it's a nice accessible one for people.
yeah. So we can
And
talk about maybe why first, why it
yeah,
got sort of pulled,
yeah,
because there was some safety issues around that. But
yeah.
it's as always, it's the details that matter.
It is. It's all the minutia.
Yeah.
Kava kava is a Fijian plant that's been used historically for social engagement and
Mm,
social ritual. It's kind of got like a relaxing, euphoric kind of feel about it. And we'll deep dive into the history of that in a bit, but
mhm,
that's kind of where it came from. And researchers in the 90s saw that it was good for relaxing and helping people to relax.
mhm,
And there was a big resurgence in the 90s with it used for dealing with like tension and anxiety and sort of low mood and as an alcohol alternative. And we had this big explosion of sort of kava kava sort of going to all parts of the world. And then at the end of the 90s, we had some really bad instances of reported liver damage or like hepatic failure
mm,
coming from reportedly kava from Germany.
mhm,
So
mhm.
there was a bit of a sort of a recall across the world of like, let's stop this one going out, let's do some deep dive and investigation. And a few sort of takeaways from that process was that the the amount of call for the kava meant that certain plants were getting mislabeled as kava
Mm,
and sort of sold off. And there were also some instances of normally the kava extracts made from the roots, and
mhm.
there were instances of products being made with kava leaves, which is, as we know with herbal medicines, if the root is fine, the leaf might not be fine. And in this instance, it's not particularly a great one to be ingesting. And then also there was a bit of research into the traditional methods of enjoying kava is as we are enjoying as a beverage,
Mhm.
as an aqueous beverage, not as a ethanolic extract. And so, of
Mm.
course, when companies harvest kava and they make them into supplements, they do like ethanolic extraction. And so it was that inclusion of the kava plus alcohol, maybe not so great for the liver. And this is kind of what's sort of come out of the research. So
Mm.
there is a bit of caution with kava, and sort of if you've had liver damage or you've got like low liver function, and sort of sometimes in pregnancy and breastfeeding as well. It's just we want to be hyper cautious around that. But for the
Mm.
most of the majority out there, as long
Yeah.
as you don't mix it with alcohol, it's a great herb for
Mm.
anxiety and a great safely efficacious herb with lots of research for helping with anxiety and tension and sort of relaxation. And that's why it's such a great alternative to alcohol.
Mm.
Um, sort of for that end of the day drink or that social engagement drink. And yeah, we've kind of seen it brought back in, which
Yeah,
is really fantastic. So
absolutely. And so before you dive into sort of the history, I
yeah.
also like to use kava, which is sort of around the safety. It's a good point, is that I will use it in infants,
Yeah.
but it's more so for its analgesic properties.
Oh, the numbing. I can
Yeah.
feel it on my tongue now.
So teething, so babies,
Mhm.
when they're starting to have all that gnawing and the teeth coming through, it's the most, and even with throat and infections and soreness in the
Yeah.
back of the throat, it can be beautiful just to numb, to allow that sort of sleep and rest to come on at the end of the night.
Well, the old one with like rubbing whiskey on a baby's
Yeah,
gums, like rubbing the kava on a baby's gums is a
absolutely.
lot nicer, a lot safer as well.
That's
So
exactly right. And that's what I've been doing is yeah, providing little drops for mum and just like getting them to rub it all over the the gums and it goes numb. And yeah, my kiddos use that too. So in those safe proportions, and if they're not consuming it all the time, and obviously we hope that infants aren't also consuming alcohol at the same time.
Hopefully.
Then it's pretty safe for that sort of thing as well. All right, so let's dive into history, and then we can come back into what we are using it for in the actions. Yeah, so let's go through the folklore and history.
As we sort of said, like it's a Fijian plant. I am not of a Fijian descent, so I'm speaking a lot from research. So if I get anything wrong and you're from Fijian descent and you want to like write in and let us know, we would love to be corrected.
Yes,
please. We
can get you on the podcast.
Absolutely. Yeah. But it, as I said, it was produced mainly in community engagement instances, where I love the history of this one, where it would be, the roots would be harvested and then chewed, and then that masticating of the chew and the spitting is how they would process that herb to make their like kava brew. But what I love about this was that normally it was always younger women making it for their village elders, and they had to do it bare-breasted. So I always giggle at the fact that it was like you had to make kava bare-breasted. So whenever I make our kava, I take my top off. No, I don't take my top off. That's a joke. And so I was wondering why. Yeah, that's why I got naked in the dispensary just then. But it would then be served at the end of the day for community would come together. They would all drink they'd let the kava spittoon effectively ferment for a little bit to kind of increase its effectiveness and I guess palatability, but maybe not for me. It's got kind of like a bitter, sort of numbing, spicy kind of muddy water taste to it. So it's deliciously culinarily delicious, but it helps you relax. It's kind of, I always say it's like if you've got the tight shoulders, it's that relaxed sensation,
sort of like that numbing sensation across the whole body. You kind of get like a
or like when you step out of a hot shower or step out of a sauna. It's the same kind. It's like it's definitely a warming herb. But it's got this relaxation. It's all about tension. It's a herb for tension. It's a tension in the psyche and tension in the body, and so it's a great, how many of us get home from work and have that first glass of wine or that drink just to take the edge off? It's the same sort of thing with the kava, and because it's a euphoric and it gets people jovial and chatting and discoursing, and it's helping you to relax into conversations as opposed to being like a relaxing depressant, which is relax and sleepy. In large doses it can be sleepies, but also likely in large doses it can cause liver damage. So it's
balance is key.
Balance, that's it. So that's a little bit of sort of the history folklore behind it. From like an energetic aspect, we sort of talk about that its use in community, and so there's a community element or joy in community, and we sort of talked about that sort of like relaxing the tension. So I kind of think it's great from a psyche aspect of like letting one's guard down, or people who are a bit shy or a bit sort of nervous or uncomfortable, and making people more sort of gracious and open with others. And sort of it's sort of like joviality, that sort of delight, that sort of celebration. That's kind of the energies of that. And
they use it in ceremonial for celebration. Is that right?
That's exactly it. Exactly that. Yeah. And if you think as well, like at sort of the warming nature or the sort of the opening nature, it's great for instances where you feel so tense in your day and so tight in your day that you just want to like open up. And if you look at the flower, which is really beautiful, is actually like a perfect heart shape. It's like a perfect little like heart shape. So for me, whenever flowers have a perfect sort of heart shape, I always think it's good heart medicine. And we know that heart and joy, they're kind of like the two emotions that link, or sort of the organ of the emotion is joy. Joy lives in the heart. And so for me, that's a lot of like the doctrine of signatures they're showing, but also the sort of the flowers, the flowers that come off those leaves looks like a little dingle. It looks like a little like a little penis. So for me, I always think that there is an affinity or an element of kava and the prostate or the clitoris as well, because it's the same sort of organ system. And once again, we see with those organ systems, it's a lot about joy and joy for life. And in instances of individuals who are having like prostate issues, or sexual dysfunction issues, we see that it's about being relaxed, it's about being warm, it's about being open. And so there's a lot of energy there in that same sort of instance.
Yeah, very cool. I like this. Yeah, so when you see clients who are responding well to these sorts of herbs, and then you've got this good synergism with their herbal medicine that you've created, you need to pull apart all of these intricacies of the herbs and how they perfectly match, and then you go, oh, That's why I chose that.
Why, yeah. When it comes, just jumps off the shelf, you'll go through it. It's just like, I have to be in this one. You're like, I don't know why, but you're going to put you in there.
All
Yeah.
right. You're okay. But also the heart and the synergism with the rose. So
Yes.
yeah, we'll have to do one on rose. But that's where I feel like this really works so perfectly with the taste, but also the energy.
Yeah. So that's a little, I've kind of been enjoying the Kava as a sort of after work drink, and sort of just helping a little bit of sort of nervous system regulation as we start to head into here in WA, our sort of autumn time, which is that slowing down. I think it's a nice herb to work with in a short time, in a short space, with slowing down and stepping more into breath, and sort of that's kind of like my sort of wind down procedure at the end of the night.
So we've also made some yummy Mexican chocolate, so like a chili Kava chocolate. So you can also put it in different beverages.
Oh my god, Kava and chocolate go really well together. Like a good ceremonial cacao and Kava, just it's a nice flavor wise, they balance each other out really well. But also energetically, you're still getting like an opening brew from the Kava, from the chocolate, because it's stimulating, but it's not like ruining your system a little bit like caffeine can do. And then the Kava's keeping sort of the nervous system still quite relaxed. And the medicine of it is like it's upregulating GABA, and it's actually blocking epinephrine as well. So like there's a big impact in the brain chemistry, and why Kava is great for relaxation. So,
absolutely. So that's a good segue into anything more you want to mention around where the Western uses of this are and where we use it now in clinic. Is there anything else that we need to be like bringing on with the actions and mechanisms?
So as we said, like it's an analgesic we talked about before. It's that anodyne numbing aspect with the numbing of the taste and the numbing of the tongue, and even making it as a topical. It's sometimes we always think about internal usage, but making a macerated oil, taking like the Kava powder and doing a cold maceration with oil, and then applying that to sore limbs after it, or like tight muscles, that's completely fine. You're going to get that nice analgesic numbing aspect. Or having it after like a strenuous workout, just kind of relax your tension or your sore shoulders. Nervous system wise, we talked about how it's regulating GABA, which is our relaxation neurotransmitter.
Switch off.
Switch off one, one that often a lot of people we're sort of seeing a lot in clinic is it's GABA deficiencies. And it's kind of unrecognized to a degree, but like we are seeing a lot more clients who are so stressed out that like they've got no GABA and it's not being upregulated. So these herbs that upregulate, as well as ones that blunt our epinephrine, which is a stress hormone. What an amazing neurochemical little cocktail we've got in just one herb.
I know. Sort of like that break. I explain it like it's the break, right? So we've got the accelerator, which is all of our stress that's going on all the time. And they're good and they serve us well in some purposes. But then a lot of us just have a malfunctioning brake. And so the brake pedal is needing some work.
Or we're all automatic drivers and we just take our foot off the petrol, but no one's actually putting the brake on, you know?
And then we crash.
And then we crash, because we didn't brake in time. So So that's kind of like the main actions and a little nibbles sort of aspect. I'm sure we'll do a deeper dive on Kava at a later date. But that's kind of sort of relaxation, a little bit with sleep. For me, it's a lot more body. It's a lot more. It's a little bit mind, but a lot more body relaxation. It's the people who are so tense that it's manifesting in the muscles, and especially like the traps and the shoulders and the neck. For me, that's like, oh, you're a Kava girly. So
boom. So already, even just drinking half of this drink while we're talking, my whole body is like, hey.
But brain is still active. Brain's still running, still cognitive. We're not drowsy. We're not acting. Well, we're always acting the fool, but we're not acting the fool. But it's a body relaxation with still full cognition, and that's why I like it for extremely burnout professionals.
And we numb them too, so they think like, whoa, what's going on in my mouth? Hold on a second.
I'm having an allergic reaction.
So we always give a proviso before giving Kava in any herb. It's like, you will feel numb and it's not a bad reaction. It's not anaphylaxis. Anyway, don't stress. You're still going to get your feeling back soon. All right. Well, thank you for being with us for another episode of the Herbal Nibbles and Bites. So if you have, again, any suggestions of any herbs that you want to know or want us to talk about, please do. And then we can bring those to you.
If you got a favorite, just be like, oh, this is my favorite.
Comment anywhere. And share, like, and love us.
Bye.
All right. Bye.